good. Okay, everybody, welcome to Spirit Cafe Sessions with Nikki and
Still Cam.
Still Kim. It's like just Nikki and Still Kim.
Still
I
Kim.
like it.
Kim haven't changed that. Yeah.
No, no. It is our Christmas episode. Kim and I are both in Christmas sweaters. I'm in one that says Merry Grinchmas. I got it from my neighbors. It's really big, but I like it. It's comfy. Yay, she matches.
Better too.
Yay, she matches. I love it. Anyway, so yay, I am obsessed with the Grinch though. I'm obsessed. I'm the original cartoon. I don't hate the Jim Carrey version. Absolutely not. But I don't go out of my way to watch it.
It's creepy.
Yeah, no, I like the original version, the half an hour version. That's my favorite. I was obsessed with that when I was a kid. Loved that. Yeah, I love The Grinch. So I'm super happy that it's popular because when I loved The Grinch when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, nothing was ever in stores that had anything to do with The Grinch unless it was Christmas time, right? And then it was like only here or there. There was never slippers, there was never sweaters, there was never hats, nothing. And then the Jim Carrey version came out and all of a sudden hats, sweaters, and all that stuff. So technically, I should be grateful that that version came out because now I have Grinch everything.
Well, at McDonald's, I got the McDonald's
Me
socks
too.
in a row. I got them last
Me
year.
too.
This, I,
Me too.
I think they're just both different colors last year, and then this year
Mhm.
they're two-tone, but they're
Yeah.
in the different area. But you
Yeah.
see the ones in the US, and they're all different colors.
I know they have such better socks for the Grinch ones. My coworker and I actually we we put alarms on our phones not to miss that they were coming out on that Tuesday so that we could order our Happy Meals and get our Grinch socks like
Like
last
last
year.
year. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we have matching socks too then. I'm not wearing them
Ex-
right now, but
Me
me
neither. I
neither.
love
I
them
love them.
where they
There they
are, but
are.
that's okay, guys. So this is our Christmas episode. Now we are going to be talking about some funny Christmas stuff, some heartwarming Christmas stuff. I had a question about traditions at Christmas, which was interesting because I don't know much about traditions at Christmas, but I will share my family's tradition, my European family's tradition at Christmas. So
So
it'll kind of be like a fun free for all episode, which will have a spiritual touch to it as well, because one of the questions I got asked from one of you amazing listeners has to do with being spiritual around Christmas, right?
all right.
So I'm going to pull the card of the week. And it is Christmas week. When this episode comes out, we are in Christmas week. Unfortunately, I don't have Christmas tarot cards. I didn't even know they existed. I don't know why. Now there are. Apparently, they're called Christmas Yuletide Tarot. I'm not a huge fan of Christmas, so no, I did not purchase them. But I'm just going to, hmm?
I saw Krampus ones.
Oh, that I would buy.
Mhm.
Oh, I would buy those. All right, it doesn't matter. I'll find them. Okay. So, oh, you know what? This card makes absolute sense for this week. It is the 22nd, 21st of December, and I have the Knight of Wands.
Ooh.
That is busyness. That is passion. That is excitement. That is, social gatherings. That's go, 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 go all the time. Ideas coming. This is one of the busiest weeks of the year, right? Christmas week, we all know that. So I feel like the Knight of Wands is actually perfect because a lot of us are going to be all over the place, making sure everything is just so we are going to have all this energy, even when we don't. It's just our adrenaline coming up. So I think the Knight of Wands is actually perfect for the card of the week because this is how majority of people will be feeling. And you know what? For a lot of people, this week is it's for a lot of people it's hard week, right?
Yeah.
It's a hard week. So I'm gonna pull one more for those people who perhaps are listening and are going to have a little bit of a difficult week ahead of them, for whatever reason is their own. So let's see what we've got here. This is interesting. I got the High Priestess.
Oh,
Spirituality.
there you go.
Listening to your intuition, your knowing, which Kim and I preach probably on every episode that's ever aired, is your knowing, your consciousness, right? Like this could be a week that you guys really, despite what's going on, despite what, thoughts are taking over, what emotions are taking over, we really try to assess and put all this love and energy back onto ourselves and connecting with
Think
ourselves,
ourselves,
connecting
connect
with yourself
yourself,
connects you
you know,
with, if you believe in God, it's God. If you believe in angels, it's angels. If you believe in spirit guides, it's your spirit guides. Connect with yourself this week. And I think a lot of people will be surprised at how amazing they'll feel, right? And connecting with yourself through whatever way works, right, Kim? It's different for everybody.
or just remember even with it that this is this is just, a lot of it is a manufactured,
Yeah.
we that's this kind of has been forced upon us. So with that, you can just go into your spiritual self and maybe take a bit of a look back of the year that's passed, and think about
Yeah.
progress and the things you've done, and honor yourself and honor what you've done spiritually to get you to this point, because you're very likely very different than you were this time
Oh,
last.
100%. Year of the snake, 9 year. Oh my God. What shedded for a
Headed for a
lot
lot
of
of
people.
people.
Ooh,
Yeah. So you can just look
100%.
at the stuff that you're turning your back on, because next year is a brand new we go into a brand new cycle. So it's
That's right.
as we close this year and this 9 year out.
I'm excited for next year. It's a 1 year. I love 1 years. I feel like those are the best years ever, 1 years. So I'm excited. But of course, we're not going to go into that. Maybe the new year we'll talk about, that kind of stuff because I do have questions about cycles. That's one of the questions for an upcoming episode is cycles and time changes and stuff like
Stuff
that,
like that.
time shifts.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
so
so
maybe we'll talk
what
about that in an upcoming episode in the new year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
So
So
Christmas
Christmas
is
is
upon
upon
us, and
us,
I
and
had
I had
somebody
somebody
ask me. I'm just going to read her question anyway, but like, she jumps in on my lives, and she wants to remain anonymous. But she did say sometimes I feel like my family and I have the most boring traditions for Christmas. Can you give me some of yours? LOL. So I'm going to be honest. I don't
I
have
have
many
many
Christmas traditions that my family does.
guys.
From my siblings' perspective, when ever since we were teenagers, so for I'm going to say for like 20 years, um, no, more than 20 years actually. My siblings and I do Secret Santa. Five of us, we do
Was
Secret Santa.
that, um,
Um, we've recently started to do a theme with the gifts. So this year's theme was color, right? Everybody picked the color that they liked, and now we have to buy gifts that are that color. One of those, that's one of my traditions. Every year, my siblings and I do it, and no one's allowed. And everybody asks, and we say no. Like my kids ask, nope. Like, not to be rude, but it's just a thing with me and my brother and my sisters. It's our thing, right? My parents, nope, not invited, not allowed. My aunts and uncles, not invited, not allowed. It's like our little thing. And it
it
actually means
actually
a
means
lot more because we're scattered. My
oh,
brother is all the way on the West Coast. My cousin is in the middle of the country. She's near Kim, actually. She's in Calgary.
oh,
She's near
okay.
Kim. Yeah. My one sister, she's, about 2 hours north of me.
Me?
My
Um,
one sister that I'm very close with, actually, she's in the same area that I am, so that's a plus. And then I have another sister that's 2 hours up north. So it's really nice
really
that we still do this. And we have done it through postal strikes, right? We all know about those. Oh my God. Okay. We've endured it through late packages. We've endured it through fights because there's been times that we've been fighting. We still do it. One of the traditions that I love is that we're probably going to end up doing this until we're like 80 and 90 years old. We're always going to do this, right?
Yeah, no, it's amazing when you can kinda start something, like, you probably did it the first year and then thought, "Oh, that was fun," and then
Yeah.
not really realizing what
20 years later, we're still
hap
doing it.
that would be and how important it would become to you.
Yeah.
So the
Eh,
smallest just, like, ideas or decisions can turn out to be something that's your tradition.
That's and it's amazing because we actually start planning this in the spring. So in the spring, my one sister and my brother, they're the planners. They get it all organized and the theme and everything so that, we can get the ball rolling. But so I mean for that question, that's my major family tradition. Because I'm European, we don't really celebrate Christmas. I'm Polish. We don't really celebrate Christmas. We celebrate Christmas Eve. That's massive for us.
For us,
That's
that's
I love
I love
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
I'll be honest. I love it. I love it for the food. Okay, I'm just gonna throw that out there. My
Right.
mother will agree. We have, it's like borscht, so it's like beet soup with mushroom dumplings. I mean, I could eat that every day, and I don't share that. I don't like to share it with anybody, anybody. I have on occasion shared it with people, and then I always feel bad because in my head I can't help but think, why did I share that? That's less for me. And then I feel bad that I think that.
Well,
It's
you got a good borscht, you got a good borscht.
that's what. Thank you, Kim.
I'm
Yeah,
Polish too, so I got it, I got it.
right, right. But so one of the things that we do that is a staple for our Christmas Eve dinner. But we also don't we actually don't eat anything until we all sit down at the table and we have what is called opiatek, which is it's just the bread of Christ, right? Whether you're religious, whether you're Catholic or not, you have it. It's tradition. Everybody breaks a piece off and you eat it. And I mean, usually somebody says grace or some kind of blessing, and then you sit down and you enjoy the meal. There's never any meat. It is always fish, salads, of course, pierogies, potatoes, all that stuff, but there's never any meat, which is a challenge because one of my sisters hates seafood, but she powers through every year for this meal, and I love it. On Christmas Eve, we always leave an empty seat at the table, and I have talked about this before, but on
Mhm.
Christmas Eve, we leave it because for passed on loved ones, right? And for some families, they leave it because that empty seat that's supposed to represent, God or Jesus or an angel or whatever. But there's usually always about 12 dishes because 12, disciple or apostles, 12 months of the year. But I mean, honest to God, there's way more than 12. There's always way more than 12. It's just like the magic number, right? So there's that. We also, I mean, I don't do this anymore, but a very big thing is going to midnight mass, right? And I don't think that that's actually all like a Polish thing. I think that it's a Catholic thing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it starts at midnight, and you go. And as a kid, it was torture. And then everybody's there, and everybody's standing, and then there's older people standing at like 12:30 a.m. because everybody goes to church for that mass that one time a year. I don't like it, but I respect it and I respect the tradition of it. So honestly, for my family, my culture, that's the traditions of Christmas. They're actually very easygoing, and we don't actually. I'm not saying we don't celebrate Christmas, a lot of Polish Catholic people, but it's more of a relaxed affair. Like we don't go out of our way on Christmas Day. We relax. Our big thing is Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Christmas Day is the relaxing day, which I love. That's it. So that's my traditions. That's all I got over here.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, growing up, we always had we always had a present on Christmas Eve. We got to open a present on
Oh,
Christmas
I love
Eve.
that.
And I do that with my kids now too, actually. I always have, like, pajamas and a book. Like, that's always the
I like
Christmas Eve.
that.
And then, well, we had that too growing up. We always had our pajamas. And then it seemed like those pajamas stayed on for, like, the next several days, you know?
That's fine.
Right? Like, didn't matter who was coming or going, we were always wearing these pajamas because they were, like, always nice pajamas. But, um, yeah, so that's really we did that. We would have the pierogies and the cabbage rolls,
Ugh.
those kind of things. Or we would have, uh, a lot of times we would have what do you call it? Fondue. Have,
Oh, I
like
love fondue. Yeah.
and, when kinda like when I left home and things kinda got busy or whatever, and then with my, soon to be ex-husband, his family, his when his grandparents were alive, they just recently passed away. Their entire family would come in Christmas Eve, entire family, and there
Oh
had
my
to be, like,
God.
50 people. So there was, like, grandma, grandpa, they had 7 kids,
Oh,
so
geez.
kids plus whoever had spouses, plus their children, plus the children's children, and it just got bigger every year. And, grandma and grandpa would have, all the food laid out. They'd be cooking, like, the turkey, everything, and everybody would come and exchange gifts, and it was just like this big, food and gifts, and it was a really beautiful thing, and
Oh, I like
I
that.
I miss it. I know a lot of the family that, was so used to doing it is gonna, must be missing it. I'm not part of
Mhm.
those events anymore, but that was a very it was just such a wonderful thing to just
Yeah.
see, like, everybody. It didn't matter if they were fighting or not, where they lived, everybody came to grandma and grandpa's house on Christmas Eve. That was just it.
Oh, I love
And
it.
yeah, and they are Catholic as well. So we always left by the time that they were leaving to go to church, for like mass or whatever, midnight mass. Um, but myself, I know with my kids, since I had got my kids in, I guess our first Christmas would have been in 2018.
Mhm.
Try to do the same thing. I try to do their pajamas. I try to do a few little snacks. Um, we do like to either it's kinda changed a little bit with the way, the family dynamic has changed, but, either we sit it down and we watch Christmas movies and they have hot chocolate, and
Mhm.
we used to have a fire, but ever since we had a fire, I'm not
Yeah.
as it's a little that's a little bit side gone, but, we just kinda sit there and we watch and then they go to bed. Um, and then, Christmas Day when we just have our turkey and open the rest of our presents. So, um, it's nice, and then the rest of the day is it, and you're in your pajamas and you just don't do anything.
See,
So,
that's nice. I
so
like
I
that,
don't
that
think you need
relaxing
to,
thing.
try to kill yourself. Um,
Mhm.
over the years, there's been Christmases that I haven't been home. Um, Like, I have spent a little bit of Christmas, like, a few days before, did a little tiny Christmas, and then, I would always work on Christmas Day, like, when I was going to college, so I would always go back home a few days early, and Christmas Day, I'd be working, and at the time, I worked at 7-Eleven. So,
Mhm.
I'd be doing morning shift at 7-Eleven, so you have all the people with the batteries and everything else that they're coming in for.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I just put more focus on who's with me and who I'm spending time with than really what we're doing as an actual event. Or there's the places that you go when we go for drives. I've been taking the kids every year to go for the lights. They have the little
Yeah.
place set up with the lights that we drive through. Just unfortunately this year they don't have it close to
Oh.
us. So yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to do this year, but the kids really enjoy that as well.
You brought up a good point there. It's not like, I mean, traditions are important. They are, guys. Of course they are. But it's really the people. If you like Christmas, it's the traditions are important, but it's the people that you share the traditions with that is it's more important. Do you know what I mean? Um, because Secret Santa with, no offense to my friends who I love very much, but it's a different feeling than it is with my siblings, right? It's a completely
Mhm.
different feeling. So that's a very
Absolutely.
good point that you brought up. Um, but yeah, so are we ready to go into some Christmas stories?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I tried to not get super long ones. Some of these are from people who actually just clients that told me about them, and some of them I actually found from like Reader's Digest and like all this kind of cool stuff. And there is a funny thing I'm going to share at one point during the episode. We all know that kids write letters to Santa, and we all know how hilarious they can be. So I have a couple of those saved, but I also have letters to Santa from adults, which are equally as funny and truthful, and we can all relate to them, I'm telling you. Okay?
Mhm.
So, maybe I should start with those ones first and leave the miracle ones towards the end.
Sure, if that's however it works the
Okay.
best, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to read a Dear Santa letter first from I'm just gonna say the age of the child. I'm not even gonna say the name, even though it's just the first name because it's just I'm just gonna say it. So this is Dear Santa. When I told you I wanted an army of robots, I meant actual real robots I put batteries in last year. I did not mean my two twin brothers who poop things that look like battery robots.
He was given siblings, was he?
Yeah. So he wanted a pair of robots, but he got a pair of siblings instead who poop their poop looks like like batteries, I guess. I don't know. I thought that was
We'll take
funny.
the batteries out and not have to worry about them, but the other ones, no.
Yeah.
They're there. Yeah. They're there, there's no change in it.
This is a good one too. Dear Santa, last year I asked for a bunch of Barbie things. Thank you. I really liked it. But I also counted my presents. I only got 9 and my brother Jimmy got 11. Yes, one of the gifts was a pair of socks, but I don't think that's fair. So please make sure that we have equal numbers this year, please. It's okay if my mom and dad don't get any presents. They don't need it. They have too much stuff anyway.
It's so funny with siblings, hey, like, I know when I was a kid, it was the same, and with my kids, it's like, as a parent, it's such a struggle, to try to make sure 'cause you think, "Oh, yeah, like, they'll like this," but, like, they get, like,
They know
con
this.
right?
Mhm.
I do get that. So I think that's why when me growing up, my sister and I, we always had the same things pretty much. It was just everything identical.
Yeah.
We even have birthdays is kind of the same way because her birthday is exactly 6 months, like, to the day from mine.
Okay.
So it's like on our birthdays, we would pretty much also get a gift, like,
Yes.
exactly the same as the other. So,
Yeah,
like
my parents did that too. My parents did that. I did that with my kids for a while. And then I stopped. I stopped, I think, when they were both around 4 or 5 because I was like, I can't keep up with this. My parents did it till me and my brother were like 10, which I thought
Wow.
was crazy. I know. I mean, it's terrible. Terrible. But okay. All right, here we go. All right. There's one more I wanted to read, which I thought was hilarious. Dear Santa, I know I asked for a dog last year and you didn't get it, so I'm going to ask for a new dad. I do love my dad very much, but I can't have a dog because my dad can't live with a dog. So I was wondering if maybe you could take my dad and leave the dog instead. And if you give me your address, I can visit my dad a few times a year with my mom, and I promise I will keep the dog at home.
I love oh, who cares whose feelings I completely crush? I don't need I want a dog.
Yeah. And I actually, when I read the one, I laughed and I wondered if he got a dog. I wondered if he got one.
Doesn't sound like it.
Mm.
Find out if he still has a dad, need an update.
I know. I know. I wish I could find an update because there's dogs that are hypoallergenic, right? So I'm wondering, did he maybe get the dog anyway because he got a hyperallergenic one? But you're never gonna find out. But I thought that was pretty funny. And imagine being the dad reading that.
Rusted dogs, those those, like, skin dogs or whatever.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh my God. That was hilarious. Okay. All right. All right. So these are 4 adult ones that I thought just were hilarious because they are so, so relatable. Okay. Dear Santa, can you ask restaurants to be quieter? There is so much background noise. I can no longer hear what my friend is saying. The other day, I went to lunch with my friend, and who I think has become president of Tasmania or Tasmia. I don't know. Maybe she's a resident now. I'm not sure because I could not hear a thing. It's true though. There's sometimes where I'm at restaurants, I'm like, "What? What?"
Yeah, and there's you can only say it so many times where you're just like, "Okay, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
talk."
that's clearly what happened. So, like that, okay. Here is a good one because I struggled with this the other day with a Christmas gift that I had to actually take out of a box to put in a new thing and rewrap, okay? Dear Santa, can you please reduce the products sold in packaging that is impossible to break into? For example, when I buy a pair of scissors, I need another pair of scissors to break free the first pair from its plastic fortress.
How do you get into it if you don't have something sharp?
It's true though.
I actually speaking of, my ex-husband's grandparents, they used to get every single person a gift, and
Okay.
everybody got a towel and other things, and one year, grandma got these little things that were, like, the same green as in my sweater, but it was, like I think it was from Superstore or something, and it was, like, a little kind of ovally shaped thing, and it had a
Okay.
little picker at the end, and that was used to open up those difficult things. And you could just slice it open, and, like, you couldn't slice yourself with it, but, yeah, you would just do it, and it would slice them. And I gotta find it again because I have not been able to find it for a while. I love that thing.
Oh my god, I wonder if you could find it on Amazon.
I'll have to look because that thing was super. You just saying that is just like, "No, I that was a Christmas." Like, that was one of my Christmas gifts. I was like, "I love this."
That could solve so many people's problems that
It
doohickey.
was awesome. Like, she used to buy the coolest things.
Ah, so funny. Okay.
People she for.
Okay, let's see what else we've got here. Okay. Dear Santa, can you please use your influence to make paper towels mandatory in public washrooms? Everyone knows that hot air hand dryers, also known as electric pants wetting machines, don't work. Their instructions should say step one, hit button. Step two, rotate hands in airstream frantically. Step three, give up and wipe your hands on your clothes. It's true though.
It is, it is. Or you get the ones that are weird that are in the, have you seen the Dyson ones that are in the sink?
Oh,
So you're
yes.
trying to wash them, and then you gotta, like, kinda move it, and then it's the air, and
Yep.
it's like your skin all, like,
Yep.
getting distorted, and but you're,
Yep.
like, putting
And
half of your
if you move the wrong way, the water comes on again and you're like, "Ah."
yeah,
It's
yeah,
annoying.
yeah.
It's annoying.
There's
Okay.
clearly some need to be refined and
Yeah, no,
idea.
absolutely. I think the idea was there, it was just not executed well.
If
That's
anybody
what
picks up an idea from here and, like, gets something invented or whatever, you're gonna have to give us a cut for the ideas that
100%.
we
100%. 100%.
mhm.
Okay, my last one. Dear Santa, can you please ban the sale of pre-ripped jeans? If people want their jeans to look like they've been working on their hands and knees in a field, I believe they should be forced to find a field in which they can work down on their hands and knees. Here's the thing with ripped jeans. Some of them, the little rips, I don't mind. Some of them are excessively ripped. Why are they excessively ripped? And why are you
Yeah, some
spending $100 on excessively ripped jeans?
they're more expensive. It's like you
Yeah.
pay more for someone to rip them. I do have a couple pairs. I used to wear, like, a couple pairs of ripped jeans. I just loved them. They were so comfy.
Mhm.
But some of them, the one pair, I remember it kinda like one of the rips kinda, like, by the thigh just kept getting bigger, and it didn't really
Okay.
matter, like, so I think sometimes they're not necessarily meant to be that size, but they get that size.
I think I think that I don't know. I thought that was really, really funny. There's one more I want to read here that definitely brought a chuckle to me, okay? And because I actually really, really I love kale. So I thought this was a funny, okay? Dear Santa, I realize that every year brings a new food trend, but come on, can we come up with something better than kale? Something that tastes good? Remember a few years back, the whole world discovered brie cheese again? Surely we could do that again, can't we? But I like my kale. I love kale so much. Okay. Oh, Lord. Anyway, so I thought
Oh,
those were really, really funny. Because come on, how many times do we read funny kids' letters? Like, my kids don't write them anymore, but I wish I could find them because Elise did write something very, very funny about she had watched, I don't even know how, when she was it 7 maybe? She watched something on YouTube where she found out what sweatshops were. And she wrote a letter to Santa asking to make sure that any of the toys that he brought her had proof that they were not from sweatshops. So she wanted a certificate for every toy, which was very difficult to fake. I'm going to tell you that. But yeah, so I thought that was funny. But yeah, okay.
uh, I have one here that's from Santa
Tell me.
to Susan. Okay. It says, "Dear Susan, well, it's that time of year where I check my naughty and nice list, and no surprise, there you were at the top of the nice list. We both
Oh,
knew that after the first 10 years, I just had your name printed in the number one slot. Don't get me wrong, I really appreciate your commitment to do goodery, but man, don't you have any vices? I once watched you meticulously uh, herd earthworms off a wet sidewalk. You give out handmade Christmas gifts to your second cousin once removed. You pay for the streaming services you use. I'm not asking you to go kick puppies or anything, but gosh, maybe do something for yourself once in a while too. Take 2 free samples at a store instead of 1. Eat whipped cream out of a jar in public. Hang the toilet paper the wrong way. You know which way that is. Have some fun. Christmas is a giving season, so give yourself a little fun. And I promise not to bump you down to number 2. Love, Santa.
I love that. I love that. And you know what? I love how it ended because very true. Christmas is a giving season and we forget to give to ourselves.
Absolutely.
Holy
Mhm.
moly, do I love that. I love that you found that. So
Santa.
important. I know it's funny. It was funny. It was so hilarious, but it's so wow, moral of the story. I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, and we need to remember that, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times that's another thing, everybody gets all into the gift giving, but, you know, as a single parent, um, I don't get gifts that are, if they remember to make anything at all, like I don't get
Uh-huh.
anything. Actually, last year, it was the first time. I think my oldest son, he's just got such a sweetheart. He's just so very he's got so much insight, and I think he realized that there was, like, gonna be absolutely nothing for me and how much I'd been doing for them, and I don't know, I think it was because I gave him money to shovel the sidewalk a couple times, and Christmas Day, he went up, and he had it all wrapped up, and he had, like, a stuffy, but it was like the abominable snowman,
Oh,
and he me for Christmas, and he's like, "Here you go, mom," and it was, like, the most amazing gift I'd ever got
oh
because, like,
my God.
he doesn't get allowance or anything like that because he doesn't really do anything, but, like, that's why I'd given him that money, and he could use it for anything, and he used it to just,
Yeah,
to
exactly.
get me so I didn't feel left out, and it was
Wow.
just very mhm,
That's a
so
big
that's
heart right
nice.
there.
Yeah, he's such a he can be such a sweet kid, definitely.
First of all,
I s
thank you for sharing that story because, um, I've never heard that story. You've never told me that story. It's so sweet and it, like, is perfect to move into our next segment of, like, the Christmas miracle stories.
well, I would like to tell the story about how I got my dog back.
Yes. Yeah, go, go, go.
So, I'd had, um I've had a few pets. I had my first dog, Allie. I got her in 2000. She passed away in 2014. It was really hard for me. Um, I got her after I'd had a dog growing up who had passed away in 1999, and he was 16. So, and I had another dog, Haley.
Mhm.
She was, if you've ever heard me tell stories, but she cost a lot of money. Um, she had, like, echocardiograms, everything, like, this dog was quite had a lot of stuff,
Mhm.
and German Shepherd, but when Allie passed away, that was my first pet that I had that was mine, like, just mine, like, I didn't share it with
Right.
my family or anything, and I was just, "No, I'm not," and people kept saying, "Are you gonna get another one?" "No, no, I can't. I can't," right? I just can't, like, I miss her so much, like, I still will cry to this day, and this was 2014 that she passed away. I
Mhm.
still get really teary, and so it was Christmas Eve, and, uh I hadn't worked that day, but, my ex had, and so I was waiting for him to come home so we could go to my parents' place for Christmas, and I think my sister may have been there as well. Anyhow, so I was going through and I was reading the paper, and in with reading that paper, I came across, an article from a rescue that was talking about the Milk River dogs. So it was this horrible, horrible situation. I can't remember even exactly how many animals there were, but they had gone and rescued all these dogs at a Milk River. It was just horrible conditions. Very, very sad situation. But so I was reading these stories, about the success stories of these dogs who were, had been rehabilitated or whatever, and they'd got homes and they were, just loving life. And I was reading them and they were so amazing. So I was like, "Oh, this is really great." So I clicked on the rescue. Well, on that rescue, they had like dogs. Oh, there's so many cute dogs. But there was this dog that was a Maltese. He was like white, like my dog had passed away. And he was 5 years old. And he was there because his pet parents had passed away
Mm.
and he needed a home. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't imagine that happening to my dogs. Like, and I was like crying, like, could you imagine
Yeah.
them losing
Yeah.
you? And so I was so sad. And so I emailed the lady and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'll let you know. There's a bit of a list for him, but I'll definitely let you know and just check back with me." And then she said, "Would you be interested in like a puppy?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but like I want a smaller dog, but yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely, a puppy is totally acceptable." They don't usually have very like I know that a lot of puppies are born, but it's not usually puppies that they have trouble getting
Right.
rid of, right? So,
Right.
I was getting an older dog. Well, I was just waiting and waiting, waiting, and then she said, she emailed me and she says, "I'm really sorry, like somebody has taken him, but you are interested in one of these puppies." And I said, "Well, what kind are they?" And she said, "Well, they're Shih Tzu. There's the Shih Tzu puppies, and there was 42 rescued out of southern Alberta. Um, November, like mid-November of 2015." And she said, there was a set of puppies that was a week old when they were rescued. So they were born on November 11, and that includes my puppy. And then there was another, and those were all boys. And then there was another um, set of puppies that were born after.
Mhm.
And I said, "Oh, yeah, no, I would, I'd be interested for." And she said, "Well, you need to, the whelping home." This woman was such a beautiful woman that she has a whelping home. And so she just, like, it's full of baby puppies. Like, she's getting them, like getting
Mhm.
them all from babies, right? Getting them all ready to go. And we drove. It was by the time that it happened, it was like beginning of January. It was dark. It was snowy, it was cold, and it was
Right.
probably about 2 hours away. I can never remember the name of the place we went to, but it was just a small, tiny little community out middle of
Mhm.
nowhere. So we went there and we got there and there's all these puppies and, um, there was like these 3 little gray guys, and obviously their mom's not with them anymore, but they were like these 3 brothers, and this one came up to me and I was like, "Oh," and he was like the biggest of them all, and I was like, "Oh, you're really cute." And I kinda picked him
Mhm.
up and then, we were kind of playing to see which one we wanted, and this little one came back up to me again. Well, he was the big one. So I picked
Mhm.
him up
Yeah.
and I kinda cuddled with him, and he just kinda cuddled into my neck and stuff, and then, um, I sat down, and then he came up onto my legs, and so I was like, I think this might be the one that I wanna have." And then he was down again, and I looked at him, and I said, "Do you wanna come home with me? Or, like, do you wanna come live with us?" And he was like looked up into me, he went, "Ah," and I went, "Alright, he wants to come live with me." Um, and the lady said, "Oh, okay, good." It was still gonna be a little bit.
Of course.
He's gonna be a few weeks, and then he's gotta go to this other place, and so I was just, like, so excited. So, so excited to get him. But as we're leaving, she said, "Yeah, there was a list of people who had already, like, before I even had, um, contacted them, there was a list of people who were already wanting to, adopt these puppies."
Mhm.
But she said she got a call and she was told that I would have get pick of the litter, like, to
What?
not let anybody pick until I had been there to pick the puppy I want. There had already been people who were looking at the puppies. And she said, "Yeah, I got a call and, from their, like, head people, and they said, 'Nope, she's coming out. She's coming, from,
Yeah.
Edmonton, and she's wants to look, and let her have the pick of the puppies.'"
Do you know who made that
And
call?
so I got him, and he is he's such a lovey dog. He loves me. He's pulled me through so many things. And the best part about this is, I had the pet communicator reading on the weekend.
Yes.
And when she brought him up, and I've always kind of suspected he was my childhood dog, and she said he has been before, and it was he was my childhood dog, and
Oh my
he
gosh.
has apparently been with me in other lifetimes. He is here to protect me. He's here to bring me through the hard times. That's his job, and that's what he wants to do. He is here to look after me.
Oh,
And
I
so when
love
she
that.
told me that this weekend, I was just like, "Oh my gosh." Like, it's him,
Mhm.
right? And I said, "Well, would he be the other one, like the one that passed away that I was really upset about, that I got?" And she said, "No, nope, not that one." But his name was Peanuts, my dog growing up. And very funny thing is, Allie was a girl, but Peanuts was a boy,
Mhm.
and he was black when he was born, just like Dax, and went completely gray as he got older, just like
Wow.
that.
Anyway, I love that story. I love that story. And don't go in too much about the pet reader because I want to talk about that in an episode coming up.
Hey, yes. No, it was just, so wonderful that I was able to get that opportunity, and, it just really again, like I've said, like, a lot of things get underscored. You could
Yeah,
have these beliefs, and I knew he was supposed to be there, and he was supposed to be part of my life, and, um, yeah, like, he's like my little man, so
I love that.
Love
Oh, I love that story so much. I know I definitely believe in that stuff when it comes to animals and especially dogs. I definitely believe in that. Well, cats too, but I believe in that kind of stuff. And I want Kim to talk about that experience in another episode because we have people, I have clients that always talk about that they still talk to passed on dogs or passed on cats, and they connect with them sometimes easier than they connect with a loved one that's passed on, right? So we
so
are going to do an episode coming up about connecting with your passed on, like like spirit animals, right?
mhm,
It's
no,
important.
and there's one thing that I don't know if I've said it on here, but one thing that have heard not too long ago was your pets, like, we're meant to have, like, I in the world, like, there's spirits that are meant to be your children, right? Or to be your pets become your pets because they don't have the human bodies to come to be with you. So they're your children, they come as
Yeah.
pets.
I like that. Oh,
Mhm,
that's adorable. I've never heard that before, and I really like it.
mhm, I love it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
that's the perfect story. That's
Yeah.
the perfect first Christmas miracle story. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Had
Yeah,
you
how'd
not
you
like
know, like,
saw
saw
that on
that?
Christmas Day, you wouldn't have it wouldn't have led you that route.
Well, it's Christmas Eve,
Christmas Eve,
and
sorry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I never would have found it.
Mhm.
At rescue, they were so kind to me, everybody was so nice. I would get pictures and updates, we were able to go visit him, to get to know him, like, it was such a wonderful experience, and he's just such a lovely dog. But
Oh, I
it's
love
just
that.
so incredibly sad that, these backyard breeders are
Yeah.
so irresponsible. Like, these people were so irresponsible, they
Yeah.
actually had, SPCA had criminal charges against them.
Yeah. Well, backyard breeders do it for one reason only, and that's the money. They don't care. Unfortunately, they don't care. They can sell a dog from anywhere from what, like 700 to like 1,500 depending on the dog, and that's a good chunk of change, so that's why they do it. They don't care. Like,
And
it's
that's,
messed up.
quite frankly, for some of the dogs I've seen.
Ugh,
Well, yes,
ridiculous.
crazy.
Oh, Lord, Lord. Okay. So I'm gonna read a couple more Christmas miracle stories. A couple of them are from actual clients of mine, and a couple of them I found, like I said, on Reader's Digest magazines and whatnot in 2022 and 21, I believe. Um, But, so one of my clients, and the reason why I wanna read hers first is because it made me laugh because until she told me the story, I thought that this was only done in my family, and it turns out it's a huge tradition. So, Nicole, when I was 6 years old or so, I received an orange from my great grandma, and I didn't understand why someone had given me this for Christmas, because what the heck? Until I learned many years later that this was because it was my great grandma's favorite gift when she was a kid in the 1910s, because it meant something about prosperity and health. She was from Europe. It was her family tradition and her way to remind us of the fact that small things are the things that will ultimately make us happy.
Oh,
And
that's
my grandpa, he used to put the little tangerines in our stockings, me and my other stockings, every year. And he still does it when he can remember because he's much older. I'll get an orange, and it's because it's for good health, prosperity. It's like all this amazing stuff. So I did not know that that was a huge thing until like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I'm not kidding. I did not know that a lot of people do that.
yeah, I
It's
didn't know that either. I know I usually throw, 1 or 2 in the kids' stockings.
what it's
We
for.
used to yeah, had no clue about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, that's cool. And even my grandmother talked about her stories about Christmas doing her, she was born in 1920.
Hmm.
She's away now. She passed away in 2009, but we were very close. And she would always talk about how they would have like the Christmas concerts. And
Right.
then as kids, and then they would get the little paper bags full of like little candies and their oranges and stuff. And then they'd always be really careful and put them on the windowsill so that they were there and they were, before they would eat them or whatever. And it was a very um deliberate, like, hey,
Right.
because it was so special, right? Like they just loved it. And because they didn't have money. And
Right.
it was love and togetherness and
Mhm.
representation of love and abundance and all those things that I think we overlook a lot, um,
It's true.
most times of the year. And exception like ex Christmas is bad. So
Oh,
many
yeah.
people are forced to have just way too much stress and, ideas about what you need to buy and,
Mhm.
keeping up appearances and everything else. So, yeah, I think that's great to bring it back to something
Simple.
so pure. Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that. I did like that.
Mm.
Okay, our next one. I was 6 years old and my parents were getting a divorce. My mom was pregnant with my little brother, so things were really rocky for us. On Christmas Eve, my mom got a phone call, and the woman on the phone said that they heard we were having a tough time and asked if it would be okay if Santa came for a visit. We lived in a small town, so my mom wasn't too surprised that people knew what was going on. A little later, we heard bells, and down the road came a horse drawn carriage with a real life Santa. He came in and gave me a Cabbage Patch doll. It was the late 80s. To
Oh,
this
good.
day, we still don't know who Santa was or who even called my mom. And every year, I send a little thank you by trying to do something special for someone else or a family who needs it, because the lesson that was taught to me was what Christmas was really about. And I never get tired of seeing other people's faces light up when I'm able to be their Santa.
Wow.
I like
That's
that. You know
well,
what? I've heard stories like that too. I have heard stories even in my city that I live in. When I used to go to church and stuff like that, I would hear stories of people saying that I don't know who did this, I don't know who brought this, like I don't know who delivered this on Christmas Day. I don't know if that still happens. I mean, I hope so, but as a kid, even the priest at times, he would tell us stories about, a parishioners thanking somebody in the community because, they put money in an envelope in their mailbox to help out with Christmas and they don't know who did it. And like I remember hearing those things and they happened more than people knew. They were just not talked about. That's not what the news focused on.
no, and you know what? It's so beautiful because, like, even people with the pay it forward and stuff like that
Hmm.
means more if you do it and don't go on social media and go, "Okay, so today I did this." You
Hmm.
know?
Hmm.
It's it really takes away it's those, anonymous little gifts, those
Yep.
anonymous little lifts, that remind you
Mhm.
of Christmas, holidays, or even just what life should be. You
Mhm.
know, you help people because you want to help them, not because you need any Noria or can't even say the word. You don't need to be the big hero.
Mhm.
Um, and you just do it.
Yep.
You know, and you're doing it for yourself too, because just the knowing that someone is so happy to receive something or that that
Should be
you've done
enough.
them out. Yeah.
Yeah, it should be enough. You're absolutely right. Um, absolutely right. Um, the next one I thought was very interesting, because it's, a little bit more, I'm not gonna say spooky because I actually don't see this as spooky, but it is, I think, going to open up a topic where, there's a lot of amazing stuff that happens at Christmas if we pay attention, and there's a lot of signs that we are not alone at Christmas and our loved ones are checking in, right? So this is a very interesting story, okay? My stepfather, Marlon, who's like a father to me and my sister, bought a dancing Christmas tree in the mid 2000s as a gimmick decoration. My mom hated it. He passed away in 2014. My sister Stacy had taken possession of it along the way. She got engaged to her longtime boyfriend on Thanksgiving night. Marlon had met him. The tree was unpacked, but there were no batteries. Later that evening, when all us ladies were sitting around talking, the tree lit up and started to dance. But the empty battery pack was in hand, and the only conclusion we could reach was that Marlon was sending his blessings and dancing a jig.
Oh, that's so
I like that.
beautiful.
Yeah, I'm telling you, weird stuff like that happens all the time, especially around December. I mean, and I don't say weird because it's not really weird. Like to me, this isn't weird, what I just read. But coincidences, maybe is what I call them, happen a lot more around this season. And if you just pay attention a little bit more, you'll be able to connect the dots and you will definitely be able to tell if somebody is visiting you and popping by just to say, hey, Merry Christmas or hey, how's it going? Um, quite
Oh, yeah.
often, right?
And you also really need to remember that they are there. So put a plate out for them. Um, Talk to them because they want to be there.
Mhm,
I have one situation. I have one of my very close friends who passed away. She's actually the reason for the ladybug on my tattoo. Uh, Her mom. I was talking to her mom, and it was she died January 28th.
mhm.
So next Christmas. And I was talking to her mom who lived in another province and said, like I, I'm gonna miss her or whatever. It's kind of sad because we had spent that Christmas before because we knew she was going across. And her mom actually, while we were talking, one of the bells on the tree started to ring.
I love that.
Yeah. So it was her saying, "Hi, I'm here,"
That's it,
for
that's
her.
exactly it.
It was
It's
when we were talking about her and we both just knew it was her. And it was
mhm,
just people. So acknowledge them.
yeah,
Maybe this is your first Christmas without a loved one that you miss and you don't know what you're going to do. I really um strongly encourage you to either get an ornament that maybe represents them
yeah.
and start a tradition, like okay, so you'll get another ornament for them, or maybe there'll be, you'll do something kind of in honor of them and make it a tradition,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
just kind of to keep them involved, to keep them part of it. And I can tell you that that will do so much to heal your heart because you're still including them.
Absolutely. No, I think it's very important. Very important to include anyone that's no longer present in your life, whatever means, right? It's very, very important to include them because it will bring you some peace. It will. I mean, you might not think it. You might think that it's very hard to see them. Like Kim says, I love the ornaments. That people put pictures on of passed on loved ones. I don't care how cliche they are. I love them. I love them. Um, do that kind of stuff. And I know it might seem painful the first couple times you look at it, but honest to God, I mean, just from my own experience, where it is painful for me to see certain things about a family member I was once very close with who's no longer here. It's very painful to see her stuff around my house or in my office. It was very painful. But now I look forward to it and I look for it. I actually look for it.
Mhm.
And it brings me a sense of peace and calm.
Well, with my ex's family, his grandma and grandpa, they were in their 90s when they passed away, and they passed away in, January 2022 and August 2022. And so that Christmas, I actually went and had ornaments made because you can get
Oh.
them, um, like Vistaprint or whatever.
Mhm.
I got the ornaments, like, really nice ornaments made with, like, a beautiful picture 'cause, we had got married in Cuba, and they were there. So there was a beautiful picture of them in Cuba together,
Mm.
and so I had that picture put on ornaments for them, and then there was a couple other ones who had also lost, like, these other ones lost their dad as well,
Okay.
kind of around that time too. So then I had a picture of them with their dad on the other side for them, so I did it because, I just thought they should have something. So,
Yep.
if you're worried or don't know what to do for your friend and you're worried, or a loved one and you're like thinking, well, I don't know, like I want to do something special for their birthday. That's really or Christmas. That's really something that you should
Yes.
consider. Like whether
Mhm.
or not they have a tree, get them something that can symbolize or have a picture of them so that they can keep it, and that's something that they can keep. It's something tangible, something that will be very important to them.
Mhm. No, I agree with that. I 100% agree with that. I do. Um, I think that is one of the kindest and thoughtful gifts you can give somebody, especially if the grief is still very much alive during the Christmas season. And even, even if it's somebody who passed away years ago, Christmas will, for a lot of people, awaken that grief. Like even more, right? Because it's Christmas, and I absolutely get it. I honestly, I still struggle, with my stepmom's passing during Christmas, and it was 3 years ago. I struggle. I know I will always struggle with it. Um, my kids will struggle with it, but it does get easier, and it does feel better to see her just a picture on the tree, on Christmas. It just feels a little bit more normal, which calms like myself down, my kids down, and stuff like that, to see their nana there. I think it's important, and I think that that is a fantastic gift. So a gift idea right there. If you don't know what to get for somebody, and you wanna, those are the best gifts. And you know what? So affordable. You can get one now for $10, a beautiful ornament with like so
Yeah.
affordable.
Yeah, just don't go, I think actually I said Vistaprint, but I think I actually went to Shutterfly, and it's
Oh
actually
yeah,
in, and then I think the shipping, like, I think it cost me like $350, like,
probably.
with
Yeah.
the mo plus, like, the shipping, but the shipping was, like, most of the price.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, um, I think you just need to kinda be cognizant of where you're getting it, but,
Mhm.
like, so many places in drugs or, any place that will print off pictures.
Yeah.
I think people even personalize stuff up on Amazon because really all it takes is a picture, right? You
Yep.
just need
It's
to
true.
email them a picture.
Absolutely true.
So and then that just gives people that you, care about, um,
Mm.
gives them something cool because that's just then they know you thought about them.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. That actually leads me into our question, which is, I mean, we kind of already answered it a little bit, and we've gotten this question before, but I'm going to read it anyway because it has to do more about Christmas. But I had somebody ask recently in one of my lives, actually, they had asked. What kind of traditions should I do around Christmas time to connect with my loved ones on the other side?
Yeah, I would say, like, if praying,
Hmm.
if a meditation, um, you know, do something that they loved,
Hmm. Just because it's
get
Christmas.
bring pictures.
you don't have to do anything different. I feel like people think that because it's Christmas, oh my God, it's Christmas. I got to do something different. I got to do something extra for, for grandma because she's not around, for mom because she's not. No, you don't. You can, if all you do is light a candle and occasionally put a piece of cake near there and a little, do the same thing. You don't have to go out of your way just because it's Christmas. You know, my kids write letters. They write letters and they put it on the altar of their nana. They draw pictures and they put it on the altar, but they don't do that just because it's Christmas. They do Christmas ones, but they do it throughout the year. So I don't think that you have to do anything extra special at Christmas, of course, unless you want to or you feel called to. Um, they accept anything all year round, no matter what it is you feel called to give them, and they're grateful for it.
Well, and another thing you can do is, say, it's someone who always made like some special cookie or whatever. Well, pick up the slack and make it for the people, for
Hmm.
everybody. Like, yeah, you don't have to have it perfect, but just to know, like say, um, grandma always made cabbage rolls. Nobody else made the cabbage rolls. Well, everybody's going to miss those cabbage rolls. So you grab the stuff,
Hmm.
make cabbage rolls, and just say, I know, here it is because I didn't want us to miss out. And so you're honoring the loved one by, you know, doing something like picking up from where you
Hmm.
might be lacking because they used to do it, but you're also helping the others grieve because they'll be like, oh gosh, we didn't have to miss it because it
Yeah.
would be a huge conversation. I really miss those cabbage rolls. Remember when grandma used to make cabbage rolls?
Yes.
But if you brought them, even if they say these are worse than like these grandmas are way better, that's fine. But it's got to grandma's
Mm.
being remembered. You're I think so many people kind of get to a point like, oh gosh, you don't want it's almost like you don't want to step on their toes by doing something,
Yes.
but they're not going to be upset if you make better cabbage than them.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Hmm.
just,
It's true.
it's, I do though very firmly believe, that if you make that decision and you kind of sit with it, you can be like, grandma, can you help me? Help me find what I need.
Yes.
They
Yes.
will you make them.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Oh, I
You will
absolutely agree.
have these ideas in
Oh,
your head,
and you know what? I love what you just said. I
but
love
they're
that you
not
said
gone.
it sparks like the conversation. I think that's important as well. One of the things you can do, I guess, to honor your passed on loved ones, is talk about them at Christmas. Talk about them. Okay. Talk about how they would have thought that that gift was hilarious. Talk about how they would have made fun of that gift. Talk about how they would have loved that gift. Bring them up. That is such a nice way to honor them and keep their, spirit alive in a sense during a season like this, right? Um, but I love that. I think that's so important because a lot of people, it's not that they avoid talking about passed on loved ones during Christmas season, but it's just they feel like if they talk about it, maybe they bring the people down in the room. Maybe, everybody gets sad, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be like that. No.
It's like when I talked about, like, death, like, did my
Mhm.
death kinda talk. People are so like, when it comes to the people who passed away, people seem like they think if you talk about them, you're gonna suddenly remind them that they passed away. You're gonna do something bad, but you're not,
Right.
it's like they didn't forget. They're not gonna suddenly be like, "Well, geez, I was just having the greatest day. Now you just reminded me she's gone."
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
Mm-mm.
And so I think people need to give themselves, like, a past and,
Yes.
everybody will enjoy it.
Yes. No, absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many ways you can honor your passed on loved ones during the Christmas season, in ways that won't, bring back too much grief either, right? Wow, I really like this episode. I had fun with this one.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah,
too.
I had fun with this one. This was
It's
nice. We wanted to keep it lighthearted. We wanted to keep it fun. We're really excited because we're on the precipice of a new year. So we have Kim
mm.
and I, we haven't, honestly, Kim and I have not even planned out all the episodes of the next year, right? We haven't, have we?
No, I don't think
No.
we have one yet.
No, no, we haven't. But we do want to, like, just to touch on, I do want it when Kim feels comfortable to talk about how she connected with do they call them pet readers or what do they call them?
Animal communicator. That's what
Animal
she calls
communicator.
herself.
So we're definitely going to do that.
Mhm.
I did get a lot of people talking. I did get a lot of people talking about the manifestation episode, sending me DMs on my TikTok. So we'll do another one of those, maybe a little bit further into the new year, but we'll do that. If you guys have any ideas, honestly, just DM them to Kim or myself. You don't have to always DM them to me. Kim is nicer than me. So everyone's aware. Okay. You can also DM them to Kim. Okay. And we'll take into consideration what you guys want to talk about.
Absolutely. And, maybe we'll have something in the new year where we can get convince Nikki to do some tarot reads
Sure.
for the new year.
Yes, I can do that. I can do that. Um, I don't know why I find sometimes like the tarot stuff on this podcast is not as interesting as all the other stuff that we talk about. I don't. Anyway. It doesn't matter. That's my thing. Anyway, okay.
Well,
Listen.
I, I don't
Um.
really do like psychic stuff. So
um, yeah. True. True.
like
Um.
for future, I don't use that future. So that's
Yeah. Yeah. And we welcome all ideas. We welcome all your guys' ideas. So please do share them, whatever you think that would be fun or heartfelt or whatever. We're open to everything. There is no judgment here ever. Pretty sure, any of my clients or Kim's clients will tell you that we are the least judgmental people ever. So yeah, throw down your ideas. But we also just want to wish you guys an amazing holiday season. Right? An amazing holiday
yeah.
season, and we really hope you're doing whatever you wanna do this holiday season. You know, whatever it is you wanna do, whether you're spending it alone, whether you're spending it with, a house full of 50 people, as long as you're doing what you wanna do and you're happy with
Yeah.
doing it, that's all that Kim and I want for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, you know, you telling us what you want, and, is a good thing, but you need to make these holidays about you. Because if you aren't enjoying them, especially like if you have children or
Mhm.
you got like younger people, they need to see you enjoying your life. You are showing them, their eyes are on you. And
Yes.
I get this in readings all the time. You got to remember that the children's eyes are on you. You're teaching them how to maneuver these things, how to maneuver family dynamics cuz it's that stuff comes out full blast in during the holidays, right?
Wait.
Um, some people have a little too much to drink or whatever, and then stuff gets crazy. So you're showing your children they need to look after themselves, how they should treat themselves. So be very mindful the actions that you do, especially when you have children, because
Mhm.
that is setting the groundwork for them to become adults and what they are going to carry on and how they are going to honor themselves. And I can tell you, I want my children to make sure they are looking after themselves way more than I've looked after myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So another nice thing to remember during this Christmas season, when you find yourself getting overwhelmed and caught up in the, important, unimportant slash details or things that you need to do, pull back. Remember what Kim said. Have that fun. Don't let your kids just see that you're a big ball of stress and pressure. Pull back from that and let them see how much fun this season could also be. Very important. I'm glad that you brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want these are memories for them,
Hmm.
and I've tried really hard. That's why I've done for my children, with everything changing, in our family dynamic, I've done things that I want them to remember, right? Like,
Hmm.
the one year, I wasn't even supposed to have the first year. Like, I said, "Okay, I don't wanna make this a big deal for them." He was still living here. They were gonna go to the grandparents. Turned out Found out at 3 o'clock on Christmas Eve he hadn't done anything.
Hmm.
So I went down to Canadian T I bought a tree, got the decorations, I went to Costco, bought some food,
Mhm.
and got all the presents
See?
wrapped. I took them out to the lights and we did, like, and so I did that for them, and like they s- they remember that.
Mhm. Yeah, it's very
So
true. It's very true. It's
that's what I wanted to.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have an amazing holiday, however that looks.
Mhm.
um, and please don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard. Money is like we money means nothing really. Yes, I would love to be, I'm sure rich. I could show myself how to be happy, but money means nothing. So it's the people you're with. It's who you are. It's taking inventory of the good things in your life.
Exactly. Exactly, that's exactly it. So we hope that you guys have a phenomenal holiday season. We really hope that you've had fun with this episode. We appreciate all you guys for listening and sharing and following and subscribing. We appreciate it so much. And we look forward to bringing you guys even more amazing things in the new year. And we're excited for 2026 so much. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and I think that we're good. We're good to sign off.
We are. So happy holidays, whatever it is that you celebrate. And I know I have to go find myself National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, my absolute favorite movie ever.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, thing to do. So I hope you have something that you love to do and you do it.
Absolutely. So happy holidays, guys, and we will see you next week.
Hey.